On the news, Senate summons security agency over alleged USAID link with Boko Haram. Benue Assembly suspends 13 members for opposing Chief Judge removal. And Nigerian government seeks court order for Binance to pay Nigeria $79 billion for economic loss fine. Many thanks for joining us on the news on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolie. Two people have died in a gunpowder explosion at a local market in Talata Mafara Market, Zamfara State. The incident, which occurred on Tuesday, caused widespread panic as traders and shoppers scrambled for safety in the busy market. According to reports, the explosion originated from a shop dealing in locally fabricated firearms. Locally made firearms, often used by vigilante groups, have become widespread in the state, raising concerns about safety and regulations. However, the chairman of Talata Mafara local government area, Yaya Yari, has announced a total ban on selling locally made firearms in the market. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Senate has asked the heads of National Security Advisor, the National Intelligence Agency and Defense Intelligence Agency to appear before it over allegations of funding of terrorist group Boko Haram by the USAID. The call for an urgent investigation into allegations that international organizations, including the United States Agency for International Development, may be funding terrorist groups like Boko Haram, followed a motion raised by Senator Ali Ndume on the urgent need to probe the matter. Ndume noted that this claim comes shortly after the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, raised alarm that terrorist groups in the country were receiving sponsorship and training from international organizations. During the plenary, lawmakers also expressed concerns over the viral video of U.S. Congressman Scott Perry, a Republican representing Pennsylvania, who alleged at a congressional hearing that USAID has been involved in financing terrorist activities across the world, including Boko Haram.
The monumental devastation caused by Boko Haram in this country should be a matter of concern, as it has dented the image of this country among the Community of Nations for allegations to begin to emerge at this point in time that some international organizations are behind this unwholesome act. There is the urgent need for steps to be taken by the federal government to unravel the mystery behind this whole episode.
It has gone viral globally, and therefore we need to do these things with some facts provided by these various security agencies at a closed-door session. Mr. President, with all due respect, this is my stand on this matter.
Even America has not taken the allegation hook, line, and sinker. They are investigating. So Nigeria must also investigate to be sure, because we won't just keep quiet. If it is true that USAID have been funding Boko Haram in Nigeria, we have no business allowing them to have offices in Nigeria. So before we can take decisive steps and also ask for recompense, automatically we must go back into the issue. So it's important that we get briefed by our intelligence community. The Senate should immediately invite the National Security Advisor, the Director General of the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, the Director General of the DSS, the Director General of the DIA, to brief the Senate in a closed session on the veracity or otherwise of these very serious allegations. Say aye. Those again say nay. The ayes have it.
The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has reiterated the Nigeria's government's commitment to eradicating insecurity and securing the release of all kidnapped victims across the country. Speaking in Abuja during the official handover of 59 rescued victims to Kaduna State government, Ribadu assured Nigerians that authorities are intensifying efforts to dismantle criminal networks and restore security nationwide. TV360 Emeka Marco files in this report from Abuja.
In recent years, Nigeria has faced significant security challenges, including insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, and farmer-herder conflicts, prompting substantial government investment in national security. While these challenges have led to loss of lives and property, the military and security agencies have continued to push back against threats to national stability. A testament to these efforts is the successful rescue of 59 individuals, comprising 28 females, 24 males, and 6 children, who had been held hostage for at least 4 months. Handing over victims, National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu credited the breakthrough to the government's strategic security initiatives aimed at eliminating criminal elements and ensuring safety of citizens.
We believe it's a journey. Already a lot have taken place. We are restoring order. We are bringing justice. We are bringing back peace to our country. About 59 or so people today. Last week, another number like that. And thousands, and it's ongoing across the country. And it is also a joint operations of all those who are in charge or in the forefront of fighting to keep us safe in our country. The armed forces, the intelligence community, the civil police, all of us are working as one, and we are seeing the results.
This is the second time you are coming here to receive freed captives. The last time was over 40, and you can practically see that we have 58 before you now. These captives were rescued along Abuja-Kaduna Way, specifically at Rizana, and through the effort of the various security agencies, where the effort is yielding fruit.
Speaking to journalists, Major General Gabalaka, the National Coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, revealed that the victims were freed following relentless security operations and a comprehensive approach by Nigerian security forces.
Some of them have been with the bandits for about 4 months. Different periods in between, but the most period has been 4 months. And based on intelligence that we've been collecting, the NSA directed we tie up with 1 division Nigerian Army, who is the lead in Kaduna, to conduct operations within the area which we've identified to rescue these people. 1 division was the lead in these operations. Due to the pressure from our security forces, the bandits abandoned them and ran for their lives. And we were able to pick most of them from those camps, and the others found their way to the major road and to the police checkpoints.
The Army, the Air Force, and all the Navy, and indeed all the military and intelligence security agencies, the police, we are fully on board with the National Security Advisor, and we will continue to work under his coordination to ensure that the mandate given to us in furtherance of the intent of the Commander-in-Chief is fully actualized. This is just 1 step, and I believe as we continue to work, more steps and more results will be delivered, which will be evident to all.
Authorities have emphasized that public support remains crucial in sustaining these gains. Nigerians are urged to collaborate with security agencies by providing credible intelligence that can help track down criminals and dismantle their networks.
Other stories. The Benue State House of Assembly has suspended 13 lawmakers for 3 months after they disassociated themselves from the suspension of the state's Chief Judge, Justice Maurice Ikpembese. The House had earlier recommended that the Chief Judge was suspended over allegations of gross misconduct and abuse of office, adjourning plenary until March 24. According to a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Teva Zemba, the suspension followed a motion by the Majority Leader, Sata Tessie. The affected lawmakers were accused of engaging in dishonorable actions that could create division within the Assembly. They were also ordered to refund funds allocated for a planned foreign trip since they would no longer be participating. Joining me to discuss this further is political scientist John Chua. Thank you so much for your time. Now, what do you make of the Benue State House of Assembly's decision to suspend the Chief Judge of the state and also suspend 13 lawmakers for disassociating themselves with the Assembly's action?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me. If ordinarily, I would have wished that what you were asking me from Benue State, from your station, would be asking me how my house in my local government, who my rulers and are taking refuge in my place in the village. I would have asked where you would have asked me how the people from Gwe and Gwe West are no longer in their residence, because I specialize in, yes, I'm a political scientist, but I specialize in peace, because I have been bombarded with cases of killings, kidnapping, and all that by Fulani herders, militia that have been terrorizing our own society from Kwande to Gwe West to Gwe East, to Kasnala and Dukum. This is what ordinary would have been responding to. But unfortunately, why I have these IDPs placed in my village, everywhere, you are confronting me with a reckless behavior of a house that ordinarily I do not want to engage in it. But I will say that all of you know that we are operating a democracy, and a democracy, there is what we call separation of powers and the tiers of government. And yesterday, I am not a lawyer. I'm only understanding from the viewpoint, from the background that I have seen, is where the assembly lack the capacity and authority to remove. Because what you ask me is to remove. Yeah, but I know that the removal of any CJ is the preview of the National Judicial Council. Here, that was not done. I don't know the details yet. I'm still studying it to know whether we have that legal onus or not to do that. But today we woke up with another laughable scenario that people had their rights to, and the assembly to air their views, the assembly to represent their people and to speak on behalf of their people. And then when somebody stands up in the assembly, say that I speak on behalf of so my people, and my people say no to this, the following day you suspend them. I think it's a laughable situation. It's what ordinarily I never envisaged that will take place now, especially now that we are facing very critical challenges in our society. But unfortunately, that is where we have come to be now.
All right. Political scientist Don Shua, thank you so much for your time. Now, the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, retired Brigadier General Muhammad Bamiwa, has commissioned a multi-billion naira NDLEA barrack in Adamawa State to address the housing and office needs of officers at both the state and zonal levels. It described the commissioning as a significant milestone in strengthening the NDLEA and reaffirming the Nigerian government's commitment to welfare and security of its personnel, urging officers to redouble their effort in combating drug abuse across the country. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, also called on officers of the agency to see the development as motivation to intensify their efforts in the fight against drug abuse, which he described as crucial to safeguarding the future of the nation.
Your presence underscores the importance of this milestone and the critical role of justice in the fight against substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking. As our supervising minister, your prompt response to all matters affecting our agency and your support is well acknowledged and appreciated. I must also recognize the National Security Advisor, who is a son of the soil, for his unwavering support to all our efforts in the NDLEA.
I urge the officers who will call these facilities home to remain steadfast in their service to their motherland. The nation looks to you, up to you, not only as enforcers of the law, but as protectors for a safer, healthier society. This investment in your welfare is a call to higher responsibility, one that requires unwavering dedication and resolute commitment. This day should serve as more than the commissioning of a physical structure. It should be a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to building a society where every citizen can thrive free from drug abuse and destruction it brings. Together, through concerted efforts and unwavering determination, we will secure the promise of a better and brighter Nigeria for all.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, is taking legal action against Binance Holdings Limited, seeking a court order for the cryptocurrency exchange to pay over $79.5 billion and 231 million naira in alleged economic losses, along with 2 billion naira in outstanding income taxes for 2022 and 2023. The lawsuit, filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja, claims that Binance failed to register for tax compliance in Nigeria, thereby violating multiple financial regulations, including the Companies Income Tax Act and the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act. FIRS also alleged that Binance deliberately concealed its business operations despite having a significant economic presence in the country. The Nigerian government argues that Binance operations meet the criteria set under the Significant Economic Presence Order, which mandates taxation for foreign digital service providers, generating at least 25 million naira in annual revenue from Nigerian users. It's time for a short break and news, but still to come on news now. Lukman fires back at Atalanta manager after a penalty miss. Details of this story right after this break. Welcome back. Now here's a quick recap of some of our top stories. The Senate has asked the heads of the National Security Advisor, the National Intelligence Agency and Defense Intelligence Agency to appear before it over allegations of funding of terrorist group Boko Haram by the USAID. The call for an urgent investigation into allegations that international organizations, including the USAID, may be funding terrorist groups like Boko Haram, followed a motion raised by Senator Ali Ndume on the urgent need to probe the matter. We also told you that the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, is taking legal action against Binance Holdings Limited, seeking a court order for the cryptocurrency exchange to pay over $79.5 billion and 231 million naira in alleged economic losses, along with $2 billion in outstanding income taxes for 2022 and 2023. Now, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Lime Sports TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a sure is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DG360, dissecting the issues.
It's now time for business news, and Joy Uchejem is on standby. What's the latest, Joy?
Well, thank you, Tammy. Well, on business, the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria has established regional steering committees to improve oversight at the local levels, a move aimed at strengthening the engineering profession in Nigeria. According to the regulatory body, the move aimed at enhancing the monitoring and enforcement of engineering standards across the country. Our correspondent Okpeyemi Ogusheni has more on the story in this next report.
Nigeria has been grappling with cases of building collapse and structural failure. The Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, is now moving to address the problem. The newly inaugurated regional steering committees are set to work closely with existing regulatory structures to ensure compliance with engineering standards across Nigeria.
Renew our practicing licensing to be able to make sure that we have, up-to-date, skillful and competent practitioners. Another important milestone which COREN is also championing is the mandatory engineering internship program. With this roadmap and the active role of the new structure, the Regional Steering Committee, we will reshape engineering education, mandatory training and practice, as well as advanced compliance and enforcement, ensuring a more resilient structure managed by innovative and globally competitive professionals in our country.
The Deputy Governor of Lagos, Femi Hamzat, who was at the gathering, emphasized the critical role of engineers in national development, saying their expertise and innovations could transform lives and shape Nigeria's future.
So the unveiling of COREN's new operational framework and expanded regulatory coverage across key engineering sector is a significant milestone, and we must take it serious. This expansion reflects the evolving nature of engineering profession and the need to adapt to global trends and technological advancement. By strengthening regulatory enforcement, intelligence surveillance, and compliance monitoring, COREN is setting a new standard for professionalism and accountability in this sector.
President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers also underscored the importance of stakeholders' engagement in driving reforms and sustainable development.
We are looking at skilling up, upskilling and bridging the knowledge gap that engineers have so that they can compete favorably with their counterparts from all over the world. And in restructuring, the first thing that we're planning to do, like I said, is capacity building. Because it's only when we have the capacity that we can really build the nation as we should.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Lagos Steering Committee assured stakeholders that the committee would collaborate with the state government to ensure that all practicing engineers in Lagos State are duly registered with COREN.
We are going to work with the Lagos State government to ensure that everybody in Lagos State who purports to be an engineering personnel is properly registered. We want to know who you are, what have you done, what skills do you have. If we feel that you are lacking in some areas, we will encourage you to go for professional development. If you find out that there are employers who are shortchanging engineering personnel, we will appeal to them. You cannot get the best out of people if you don't properly handle them. So there's going to be a lot of work to do.
The various committees are expected to help bring sanity to the building industry in the country and ensure compliance with building regulations. Okpeyemi Ogusheni, TV360 News, Lagos.
We will now take a breather and return with stock market reports. Welcome back. Nigeria's stock market finally found its footing on Wednesday, posting its first gain of the week with a 0.87% rise. The upward push lifted the market cap to an impressive 67.77 trillion naira by the close of trading. Now, the trading session saw 126 equities in action, with 25 stocks advancing and 28 declining. Now, Bua Foods stole the spotlight, surging by 9.91% to close at 410.5 naira per share, while Altibrisco trailed closely behind. Overall, the Nigerian exchange recorded a trading volume of 343 million shares, worth 8 billion naira across 12,970 deals. Globally, the story was quite the opposite. Major indices like the UK's FTSE, the US Dow Jones, and Japan's Nikkei all took a downward turn, ending the day in the red. And on the forex front, the naira showed a glimmer of strength on the black market, trading at 1,507 naira against the US dollar, 1,900 naira against the British pound, and 1,576 naira against the euro. And that's all our business and stock market updates. Back to you, Tammy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you for that update, Joy. On the global scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Donald Trump is living in Russian disinformation bubble, responding to scorching comment by the U.S. president about Zelensky's popularity rating. The Ukrainian leader also accused Washington of helping end Russian President Vladimir Putin's international isolation. Trump's comment comes after the U.S. and Russian foreign ministers held talks in Saudi Arabia, their first face-to-face meeting since Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, on resetting relations and finding a way to end the conflict. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has been charged by the country's chief prosecutor with attempting a coup after he was defeated in the 2022 presidential election. The 69-year-old was handed 5 charges over the alleged bid to prevent his successor, President Luiz Lula da Silva, from taking office after a bitter election race. The charges include allegations that he planned to poison Lula and shoot dead Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes. Bolsonaro, however, denies wrongdoing and says he is a victim of political persecution. And lastly, on sport, Ademola Lookman has publicly responded to criticism from Atalanta's manager Gianpiero Gasperini following the team's 5-2 aggregate loss to Club Brugge in the UEFA Champions League. Gasperini singled out Lookman for taking a penalty which he missed in the tie's second leg. Gasperini expressed his displeasure with Lookman's decision to take the penalty in a post-match press conference, saying that Lookman was not the designated penalty taker and had a terrible record even in training. In response, Lookman took to social media to express his disappointment with Gasperini's comment, which he felt were disrespectful and artful. And Real Madrid's Jude Bellingham has been hit with a 2-match La Liga ban on Wednesday by the Spanish Football Federation's disciplinary committee after it was sent off for dissent. The England international was dismissed during the Champions 1-1 draw at Osasuna on Saturday by referee Jose Montero. Bellingham, who insisted he had been expressing his frustration and not insulting the referee, were missed matches against Girona and Real Betis. And that wraps up our Bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. See you again next time.